So he's out. He's done. Over with. Finished. But first, we will be giving away a PlayStation 5. All you would have to do to enter is click like, subscribe, flick the notification bell, set it to all, and leave a comment. You can leave a comment on each video and it will count as a separate entry for each one. As soon as our YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook hit 5,000 subscribers each, we will be randomly selecting a winner. So he's out. He's done. Over with. Finished. And we're talking about Scott Derrickson directing Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. And, it's interesting. It's interesting that that's happening because he did so well with Doctor Strange, the first part. And, the article said that they had mutually agreed to part ways due to creative differences. And when you hear that and you look back at some of the statements that they made, I mean, Scott Derrickson was excited that this was going to be the first horror film in the MCU. So, considering the things that he's directed, I mean, he's directed Sinister, Exorcism of Emily Rose, Hellraiser Inferno. So I can see how somebody like that would be excited about this being the first horror movie. And then you got Kevin Feige saying this won't be a horror movie. It'll have a few scary scenes in it. So maybe that was the conflict, man. I mean, if you put it all together, I'm pretty sure they just had different visions. And with a reason like creative differences, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. We do know the Scarlet Witch is going to be in there. There are rumors that maybe the Illuminati or Loki's going to be in there. So it'd be interesting to see who takes over and where they direct this and what direction they take. But Scott Derrickson will remain as the executive producer. So I think that's cool, man. We'll still get to see some of his ideas or maybe some elements, his signature on some of it, right? But, they're crunched for time, man. They're crunched for time. And from what I'm understanding, this is going to be one of those pivotal movies that are going to lead the rest of the other films. So it's going to bring us into that next phase. So let's see what they do with that, man. I did pick up some comics. I'm always going to bring it back to some comics. I got Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme. Look at that cover, man. It's pretty cool, man. So basically, I was checking this out, man, and I wrote some notes, man. So this Doctor Strange right here just came out recently, a couple weeks ago. So I definitely pick it up if you haven't. Go to your local shop. I'm pretty sure they'll have it. And if not, just go ahead and order it. But this one is written by Mark Waid, and the cover is by Phil Noto. So this is really interesting, man, because this is actually going to be the first comic where his hands are healed and he becomes a surgeon. So he's still a surgeon. And but during this time period that he's a surgeon, he's also the Sorcerer Supreme. So you've got these moments where he's where he has to make these life and death decisions. Do I keep working on this patient, or do I take this patient, or do I go stop this interdimensional, event that's taking place? So that's pretty cool. So he's going to have that inner conflict, and we get to see him be a real surgeon. So that's something that we really haven't seen. We haven't explored, man. And I'm looking at these notes here because there was a lot. Okay, here's the thing. He doesn't use any magic in his surgeries. You would imagine that he would, but every bit of magic comes at a cost. So he sticks to that rule. That's his number one rule. And according to the writer, that there is going to be a jealous doctor that does use magic. So there you go. You'll see the consequences for that. Kev Walker is the artist. So that's going to be awesome, man, because it's not just going to be a medical drama. It is going to be a horror story. So I flipped through it, I checked it out, and there are some pretty cool horror sequences there, man. I mean, the end of this first issue right here, it's really unexpected twist, man, for for what's happening in a first issue, man. I thought that was pretty cool. It's a really big cliffhanger, man, and I've got to get number 2. But also, man, I pointed this out to say, you know, how much of the storyline are we going to get from this comic book that gets interjected into the Multiverse of Madness? I mean, how much of it are you going to see? And then once you start thinking in those lines, then you can look into the future. And in the future, I'm going to post it up here so you can see the cover. You're going to have Ghost Rider number 6 come out in March. Okay? And on that cover, you see Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange on the same page. They're sharing it. So they're both on the cover. I think that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to seeing them both on the screen at the same time. I mean, I don't know if that'll happen, but it probably will happen at some point. So you'd want to stay tuned to my next video, man, because the next video that I'm going to make has to do with Mephisto. So if you know who Mephisto is, start collecting. Start collecting, guys. Bring up that old collection that you got of him featured in there. And I also have this, man. I wanted to share this. This is Daredevil Annual 4. Look at the bottom. Also featuring the one and only Doctor Strange, right? And what's cool about this here is that this is a misprint. On the side, I don't know if you can see it. It actually says Daredevil number 4. I don't know if you can see that. But it is actually Daredevil Annual number 5. And it is Atlantis Attacks Daredevil. So I wanted to share that with you, man. It's a misprint. I think it's pretty cool, man. So we've got 3 comics that we discussed here. It's Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme number 1. It's fresh off the press, just a couple weeks. So you should be able to go pick that up. Then we've got Daredevil Annual number 5, misprint. So that's cool also. And then in the future, you're going to have, in March, you're going to have Ghost Rider number 6, man. And all this stuff, I'm pretty sure, is going to play into the Multiverse of Madness. And I have my fingers crossed that we're going to see the Midnight Suns, man. I'm calling it right here, man. I haven't heard anybody say anything about it, but
Gods on earth.